I'm asking you to give it your focus and your attention and listen to the evidence and make a decision based on what is proven by the evidence. Thank you.
Mr. Sprouse, state's first witness.
State would like to call Deputy Trent Zellers. Bless you.
If you can please remain standing, raise your right hand, face the clerk.
Good morning. Deputy Clerk will swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Please proceed, speak clearly into the microphone.
Good morning, Deputy. How are you?
Good, you?
Doing great. Would you please state your full name and rank for the record?
That's Corporal Trent Zellers, Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been employed with the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office?
A little over 6 years.
Okay. Do you have to conduct any training to become a sheriff's deputy?
You do, yes.
What training do you have to do?
Go through the academy and pass the state exam.
About how many hours of training is that?
I think it's around 800 if I remember right.
Do you have any other specialized training other than the academy?
There's a few other advanced courses that I took afterwards after I got hired regarding speed, working the intoxilizer for DUI work, and some drug and narcotic classes.
Okay. Can you elaborate on the drug and narcotic classes?
It was about a 40-hour course over at the Northwest Florida State College.
And what is it that you learn in that training?
We talked a little bit of everything, a little about seizures and forfeitures, manufacturing, different types of narcotics, paraphernalia.
In your tenure as a deputy sheriff, have you conducted any narcotics investigations?
Yes, I have.
About how many?
Over the past 6 years, quite a few been a part of and initiated, probably over 20, 30.
Were you on duty on February 16th, 2024?
I was.
Okay. Do you have an assigned sector?
Back then, it was in the city of Destin, I believe.
Okay. And can you describe what your sector is?
It
Rather.
was from when you come to Destin, right there at the Emerald Grand area, all the way to about the track, everything along 98 and everything north of it.
On February 16th, 2024, did you have the opportunity to speak with Miss Brittany Chinchar?
I did.
Okay. How did that come about?
I conducted a traffic stop on the truck being operated by somebody else, and a canine was deployed. And
Can I stop you there? Sorry.
It's okay.
Do you see Miss Chinchar here today?
I do.
Could you point her out and describe an article of clothing that she's wearing?
The floral dress, shirt.
Shall the record reflect that the deputy pointed out the defendant?
It will.
Okay. Your assigned sector and where you ultimately made contact with Ms. Chinchar, is that in Okaloosa County?
It is.
So you have what was the reason for the stop?
The vehicle had a white light emitting from the brake light.
Okay. And is that a common infraction?
Yes, yeah, it happens often.
Okay. What happened next?
I conducted the stop on the vehicle, spoke with the driver briefly about the faulty equipment, I guess we can call it, And then, once I got his information, I returned to my vehicle and K-9 that was on scene deployed his dog.
Okay. And then what happened next?
He he advised that there was the presence of narcotics, or his dog had alerted to him. Him and another deputy pulled them out of the vehicle, and then I came up and eventually started searching the vehicle.
Okay. When you do a search, do you have a specific methodology that you follow?
Yeah, I mean, it can be kind of fluid, but in this situation, I started the actual search at the driver's side, and then typically I will glance at the door, but work my way from the center console back toward the outside. This situation being only 2 occupants, I went from the front driver's seat to the passenger side.
At this time, do you know where the canine alerted?
I did not.
Okay. What did you find on the driver's side?
When I was on the driver's side, I'd opened the center console, and there was a beer bottle that had some liquid in it still, and then another canned beverage.
Were they cold?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. Is that all you found on the driver's side?
I believe so.
Okay. Then what quadrant did you move to next?
The front passenger.
Okay. And while you were searching that area, what did you notice or find?
There was a book bag that was in the passenger floorboard. It was partially open at the top.
Okay. And inside that book bag, what did you find?
There was like a net style mesh bag that was within it, and that's where I began opening that up to see what was inside the bag.
And what was inside the bag?
The narcotics that led to the arrest.
Can you describe?
Yeah, it was it ended up being methamphetamines, and then there was a green powder that tested for fentanyl.
Okay. Anything else?
There was some tin foil, ended up having burn marks on it, had a red tint to it, and then there was some red pills.
Okay. May I approach Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Excuse me. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Do you know what this is?
That'd be the methamphetamine.
How do you know?
The crystal-like substance, the shards of it.
Did you put this in evidence?
I did.
How do you know?
It would have my name, my initials on it.
Okay. And is this, so do you know what the sticker is right here?
Looks like our documentation number.
Did this item get sent to FDLE for analysis?
It did.
Okay. And when you submitted this into evidence, is this in a substantially similar condition as it was when you first submitted it?
Correct.
Your Honor, permission to enter States 1
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
States 1 is admitted.
and permission to publish.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, publishing just means showing it to you. While you're doing deliberations, you'll have all the time you want with all of the evidence that's introduced.
We have some technology.
Ooh, we're going to go with technology. Here we go. You put it on the dot cam?
It should be on the,
Yep, I hit dot cam. There you go.
all right.
Would you like me to hit autofocus?
Yes,
Let's see how that works.
thank you, Your Honor. All right, so, do you know what these markings are?
You talk the Sharpie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you, is it top one case number or a
That's
AAT
correct.
number?
Yeah, the top is the case number.
What's the middle line say?
That says 15 grams. FTP stands for field tested positive, methamphetamine. And then the third line, the TPW is the total package weight of the whole exhibit.
So, why are there two weights?
For what the actual substance weighed out to be outside of all the plastic, and then once you put everything together in the evidence packaging.
Do you recognize this?
That would be the fentanyl,
Okay. And how do you know?
because that's what was field tested and ultimately sent off to the labs.
Okay. And is the fentanyl in the same or substantially the same condition when you first put it into evidence?
It is.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to enter state's suit
No objection.
States 2 is admitted, thank you.
and permission to publish.
Yes.
So, do you have a methodology when you're submitting evidence?
I would say so, yes.
So, do you weigh it separately from packaging,
I do,
and then you weigh it with packaging,
correct,
and you notate what you do?
correct.
Okay. And you write that on the, as we see here, on the back of the bag, or the front of the bag?
That's correct.
Okay. And what does FTP stand for again?
Field tested positive,
Okay. So you did a test on this before you sent it to the lab?
correct.
Do you recognize this?
That would be the 10-pole of the burn marks.
Is there anything else in this bag?
Looks like a little piece of residue down there on the bottom. And then the little plastic bag has residue in it. And then the plastic straw as well.
And please don't forget to speak up when you get that
Oh,
close.
sorry,
You
yes.
tend to
Yeah.
just talk
Sorry
to each
about
other, so.
So, did you do any testing on this?
Not that I recall, no.
Your Honor, permission to enter states 3.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 3 is admitted.
All right, through your training and experience, Deputy Zellers, what is burnt foil indicative of?
Typically is used to smoke narcotics.
States 3. Do you recognize this?
I do.
And what is it?
More methamphetamines.
All right, and how do you recognize it?
Same structure, same appearance as the other.
Okay. And is this in the same or substantially the same condition as when you first packaged it?
It is.
All right. Was this sent off to the lab?
That specific one, I can't remember. I didn't send off every single one.
Permission to enter states 4.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 4 is admitted?
Permission to publish.
Yes.
Same method, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
So everything that we just submitted into evidence, you're the one who collected, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And where did all of those narcotics come from?
From the bag that was in the floorboard on the passenger side.
Okay. And specifically within the bag, was there 2 bags?
Inside the black mesh netting style bag that was in the book bag.
So everything came from the mesh bag that was inside the book bag?
Correct.
Were you wearing body cam during this incident?
Yes, sir.
Was it on?
Yes, sir.
Was it working?
Yes, sir.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
What is this?
USB drive.
What is the USB drive of?
The body camera.
Okay. And how do you know?
Because we reviewed it and signed off on it
Okay. When's the last time you reviewed it?
yesterday.
Your Honor, permission to enter states 5.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
5 is admitted?
And permission to publish?
Yes.
What's 1050?
It's the 10 code for conducting a traffic stop.
Charlie, Hotel Alpha, Foxtrot 32C, HAF, via completion village townhomes on a white Nissan Titan. Okay, good to the end. Are you the girl with the white lights in the back? You are? Okay. Honestly, I didn't know if it was an issue or,
In here with this door,
Yeah.
door that shut all the way.
Okay.
I messed up, I got stuck in a hole.
Yeah.
So,
A hole?
yeah, so it won't, when I got somebody to pull me out, open this lock all the way, that's why it's all jacked up.
I got you. So you know it's busted up too, I'm assuming?
No, window's
I
fine.
know we're on that.
Now the motor's gone.
Okay. I
So,
got it.
I have to,
That man?
that,
No, it's still on. They got an issue with the doors. It's all shut. Yeah, you go. Yeah, I've never been busted. You guys open the back up. No, it's not turned off. You guys open the back up.
back on?
Yeah, it's still on. You got your license registration on you? insurance ID on you? You don't, what's the name? Where you stand, Carl? Yeah, there, 2024. And you got insurance on? I'll let you know back on your insurance.
Wait, there's an edit here. What happened after you got this insurance?
I went back to my vehicle and started running some of the information that I was given and started typing out a warning.
While you were doing that, was there something happening?
Deputy Miller had approached and was going to walk his K9.
Thank you.
May I have the attorney's approach for a minute? Members of the jury, you are about to view a video recording. The court instructs you that the recording has been edited to eliminate irrelevant portions that would not add to your understanding of the case. The fact that the recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you view and listen to this evidence and consider this evidence. I messed that up, my apologies. The fact that this recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you view and consider this evidence. My apologies.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But that's just where we're, you know, so the other way it works, kind of like take off these putting card, they now will start going. So everybody control. Go ahead. This is how much you're in. What is the principle? Because we have to do the wrong design. You do not have those things. What's the dog that is there? Now, I thought those things.
Can you turn it up any?
Right here, are you starting your search?
No, not yet.
What are you doing right here?
She was mentioning her tampons and was trying to, I think she was trying to ask for them. And so we went to the back to see if there was any back there.
Thank you. So that's the method working from the center console out, right? That you
Correct.
described earlier. What did you just pull out there?
It was about a gallon sized plastic bag. And
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it contained the narcotics that we had pulled earlier.
I'm gonna backtrack real fast. So clearly you saw this vehicle and noticed that there was an infraction.
Yes.
Where did you first see the vehicle?
Down Main Street in Destin, there's a little food mart at one of the intersections, not a gas station, just a AOC food mart. So saw it from there, and then it drove down south toward Highway 98. It stopped at the Chevron gas station, which is maybe a mile at most down the road. And then after it left the Chevron, I conducted the stop on it then.
Sorry for going out of order. Thanks. What did you just say over the radio?
I was telling the other deputy to read them.
What does that mean?
I just meant to read them their rights.
Okay. Are you talking about Miranda rights?
Correct.
it's kind of hard to hear.
I ended up asking her if she got what she needed, and she had said she had the napkins. I asked if she needed a tampon or had the tampon, and then I think she was saying she didn't have any if they weren't in her yellow bag,
Okay. But you found some in the book bag,
in the book bag in the front seat, yes.
in the passenger seat?
Yes.
What else was in the book bag? Was there like hairspray,
Just feminine looking products, maybe some makeup type stuff.
deodorant?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Were there any other bags with like hygiene products in there? As far as throughout the vehicle?
I don't recall seeing any, no.
Okay.
Hey, Freddie, no, actually, real quick. Who's that? The book bag, that's got tampons on it. Huh? With the new. It's her bag? Okay. So the bag was open, right?
Shirt jacket and that's in there.
Okay. So, when was the last time you checked on this? So, right now, it's Friday, in about 30 minutes, we'll be Saturday.
Maybe 6 hours ago.
Okay.
I mean, I just did it.
So, we,
I use,
okay. You some, yeah, are you anything else? Carolyn, Fennel?
get off this.
Got Carolyn, Fennel?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can come out.
I did that with Andy 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I used to work in Nashville at one point, so,
That's a long way to park that.
I mean, progress, I guess, so, I mean, it's something,
So
but,
you like doing that and so
right.
have been doing that and oh well.
So, yeah, so Roxy's, the fentanyl, the heroin, the crack, cocaine, that, the last thing you had. What is that? Oh,
It's not my time to party, so
okay.
not really standard. And so I don't want that.
What do you, whenever you,
What was that last part you just said?
That she knows Roxy's are pressed.
What does that mean?
They're typically pressed pills, counterfeit pills.
Okay, thank you.
at a 40, he brought you from the VA? He said he picked you up at the house down there on Main Street. So where are y'all coming from before we stop?
I'm thinking about,
Okay, so backtrack from here. Backtrack from here. Where you coming?
Sorry, I didn't move right over there, I'm ready.
Okay, what did you bring with you?
My clothes.
Your whole house.
My phone, flashlight. And jacket,
What's the jacket like?
but
Levi with a, wearing a phone inside?
you guys from inside?
Is that Levi or not?
I don't know the brand of it.
It's got phone inside? It's like a softer shell jacket. There's a black jacket on the passenger seat, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was with the shop.
Who?
The shop.
That's a what?
The shop. Mine's in the back. It's a shop thingy. Got like,
Like a drape over the shoulder?
yeah, I'm trying to think.
Okay, that might be his jacket, it was just, I don't know, it was in the passenger seat, that's all I'm asking. Okay, I drove down, took your hand back. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. Here. Yeah, the name back pocket. Yeah, oh yeah, I'll fix it. Oh.
Just hang out here right here for the subject for a second, okay? Yeah. Like I said, just hang out here for a second, I'll continue this. Your bag? You can get some coffee. Hey, would you mind hanging a hood with them right here?
Judy, brief question. Did you find anything in the bag with Miss Chinchar's name on it?
No, I did not.
Okay, thanks.
Wait, I'm on that mic real quick.
Hey, which friend are you bringing your stuff to? Tom? Whitney? What's this? I'm trying to figure out. Do you know a Nicholas Herrera?
No, I don't.
You know a
Are you looking for something?
Tashana Ashley King?
No. Those are one spaces have. What's his name?
Kevin. Anybody? Yeah, go on. Y'all want for some food?
Ryan? I'm not even about this.
Where is that?
What box is so good?
That's in the first side, that's better than that.
It was in the bag with everything.
That's really bad. That's what she's trying to go get. That's crazy.
Was that yours? No.
That is.
What is that?
I talked to you on you need a copy of that? I agree.
Yeah, I will.
So,
I talked to him.
you'll know why that's right there.
Someone is up to bring her back. They literally we're looking at bring her back. I mean, 28, and they're. Huh?
You have no phone?
There's phone number.
No
Yeah, she told me to come here and bring her back.
Where's she at?
She's in the back this way.
It's right there on the dash.
It's like, yeah, so that's different trucks.
not her bag, right?
That's correct.
Did you conduct an investigation into whose bag it is?
I did. I tried to give her an opportunity to show me or tell me whose bag it was.
Did you talk to people on scene? Like
Yes,
the driver?
Yes.
And you talked to her, as we saw. Did she ever? The last interaction, were you asking to see her phone?
I was, yes.
Why were you asking to see her phone?
Because she was saying that the female who she alleged the bag belonged to was blowing her phone up. So I figured if she had proof that it was somebody else's bag, she would want to show that to me.
Did she ever show you any?
Yeah.
Okay. Did Ms. Chinchar make any admissions to drug use?
Sorry.
Did Ms. Chinchar make any admissions to narcotics usage?
She said that she has previously used a couple different types.
Okay. Did she admit to using methamphetamine?
Yes, because she pointed out her teeth and what it had done to them.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Do you recognize what this is?
CD disc that I reviewed yesterday.
And what is it, a CD disc of?
It should be of the body camera
And how do you know that?
because we watched it and I signed for it.
Okay. Permission to introduce States 6.
This is another body cam video?
Yes, much shorter than the last one.
Okay. Any objection?
No,
A quick question. It's really difficult for the court to transcribe what's on the video. Are you seeking for her to transcribe that, or just the document will speak for itself?
The document will speak for itself, Your Honor.
Okay.
The videos can go back with the jury during their deliberations.
Right, I'm talking about for appellate
Okay.
issues.
Yes.
Okay, so you're good to not transcribe. I could see your face during some of that, so
Thank you, Judge.
just want to be mindful of her. Thank you.
And permission to publish.
Yes, our jury doing okay? Anybody need a break? Okay, keep going? Okay, keep going. Okay, go ahead.
can't hear anything.
It's hard to hear, clearly. But what was that dialogue about?
We were having a discussion about another person, I can't remember who that was or who that would be, about the use or sale of narcotics.
Okay. I tender the witness, Your Honor.
May I have the attorney's approach?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our mid-morning break right now, give you a comfort break, chance to stretch your legs. We'll take about 15 minutes, and then we will come back in and begin cross-examination. Before you start your break, I'd like to remind you of your opening instruction that you are not allowed to talk about the case, no research of the case. But it's a great time to get to know some fellow citizens. So, notepads left in the courtroom. You'll leave those right there in the courtroom, either on the bar in front of you, on the chair, and we will protect them. And we'll see you in 15. Thank you.
Please stand for the jury.
Backbone Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you to stop by. We're located in Court Plaza. Stop by and let us help you be healthy.
I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briarpatch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
For more than 70 years, the sweet aroma of the Crestview Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs has permeated the downtown area. If you have not experienced the unique flavor of Crestview's Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs, then I encourage you to join us for lunch. Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We're located in historic downtown Crestview at 107 North Main Street. Call 850-683-1045.
CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer since 1999. We're state licensed and insured, family owned and operated with 24 years of local service. We specialize in shingles and metal, re-roofs, repairs, and leak specialists. For all of your roofing needs, call us today or visit our website at cqroofing.com. CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer.
Hey, I'm David at Family Vision of Crestview. We've been providing excellent optical service for Northwest Florida for over 34 years. Come in and let us take care of you.
Man, I got this. Let's roll. Fight fire with fire. Take one.
Have you been injured in an accident and need righteous representation? Call us, because we fight fire. Damn thing ain't working.
Whoa! Not cool, bro.
I'm Attorney Coy Browning. Personal injury is no joke. Just ask him.
Injured? Take a breath. Call Coy.
We're open Saturday 10 to 4, Sunday 10 to 3, and it's both our Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, and Eglin Air Force Base locations. So you have things to do, go and do it. Just know the UPS store is going to be here. Again, Sundays 10 until 3 p.m.
Hi, I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their properties. My office is just 1 block south of the courthouse in historic downtown Crestview. Give us a call at 850-398-5389.
Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, defense attorney with Warrior Law. I represent those accused in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you or anyone you know has been accused of a crime, give us a call. We can help.
for you and the job you have to do today. So come in, make yourselves comfortable, okay? All right, we'll go back, cross.
Thank you, Judge. Want me to proceed?
Yes.
Good morning, Corporal. How are you doing?
Good morning.
All right, I have some questions to ask you in response to your answers to questions posed earlier. The body cam shows it, but you're busy searching the front of the vehicle in question. But there was a lot of communication dealing with the tampon, or tampons in general. Is that your recollection?
Yeah, there is some discussion about it.
In fact, at one point, while you're still searching the driver's side, so you had not moved to the passenger side, while you're searching the driver's side, you pan over, and it's on the back body cam, and you can see my client approaching the back of the truck, pointing out her bags. Do you have any independent recollection of that?
Was that when I was at the back?
It was while you were actually initiating your search in the front.
Okay, no.
Okay. Situational awareness, you're focused on what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
At some point, another deputy approaches you and asks you for some napkins. Do you remember doing that, grabbing some napkins off the center console and providing them to you? Do you remember why you did that?
I'm assuming they were for her.
Okay. And for her, because she in fact didn't have any tampons. Is that accurate or fair to say?
That's fair, yes.
Okay. Were you aware that Ms. Chinchar, because of the fact that there are no tampons in her bags, she actually used those napkins to address her personal hygiene issues on the side of the road?
No, I did not.
Okay. Throughout this encounter, you had inquired of Ms. Chinchar as to the ownership of that bag that was in the passenger front seat. And throughout that entire period, she denied it. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In fact, she repeatedly said that she was there. Her knowledge of the bag is that it belonged to someone else. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And that other individual was in fact another female. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You indicated during the search of that particular bag that you found some tampons. Now, this is going to seem odd, but I have to ask these questions.
Yes,
what kind of tampons were they?
I don't know.
I gotta
I'm
ask.
not going to know that.
I have to ask these questions. Do you remember if they're light or if they're regular or ultra? Do you have any idea?
Objection relevance.
Response?
Judge, the issue is that she was found in proximity to a bag and that tampons were addressed as a potential issue, as ownership of that particular bag. And if in fact this is not her tampon, it stands to reason that it's also not her bag. If she doesn't use that type of tampon.
I'll give a little bit leeway.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you know what kind of tampon my client uses?
I do not.
Okay. Do you know if that's a brand that she uses?
I do not.
Okay. Now, you already addressed this, but I want to clarify because there are some papers that were found in the bag, and it's on body cam, but it's not particularly clear because your camera it's not designed to focus on that type of thing, but you found papers and whatnot, a bunch of cards, nothing of personal identified features or anything addressing Ms. Chinchar was found within that bag. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So the reason that you decide to ultimately arrest Ms. Chinchar is that she was in proximity to that bag where the narcotics were found in the passenger seat, and that there were tampons inside that bag?
I would say that has some relevance to it.
Okay. The interior of the vehicle is in some degree of chaos. Would that be fair to say? There was lots of stuff strewn about everywhere.
There's some stuff in there.
It was not neat and orderly, as a contrast. In fact, you saw multiple bags throughout both the interior in the front and in the back of the vehicle?
There were some plastic bags in the back seat area.
And then there are additional bags in the bed of the truck. as well. Is that accurate?
I don't recall looking in the bed of the truck.
Do you recall, and again, I might have asked this question already, but do you recall Ms. Chinchar approaching the back of the truck to go and retrieve her belongings out of the back?
Before the search?
It was actually while you were in the middle of your search.
No, I don't.
And that might be a question better suited to the other deputies that were on scene, because I think they were more managing them and you were doing the search. In the bag itself as well, you found other things. Did you remember finding like a condom in the bag? Perhaps?
Yeah.
There was a square, like metallic kind of, it looked, again, it's hard to.
No, I understand. If there was one, I don't remember paying much attention.
There was lots of grooming materials like brushes and combs and stuff of that nature. But again, to the best of your recollection, nothing that personally is identified to Ms. Chinchar was in that bag.
With her name on it now.
I have no further questions.
Redirect?
She's the one that said that she didn't have tampons. Is that correct?
At the end, yes.
After she asked for one?
Correct.
Okay. So you have the fact that there were tampons in the bag, which is one thing. And then you have the statements about the tampons, and then the retraction is another thing, right? Did you take that into consideration?
I did.
Okay. So like her statements about the bag, you did take into consideration?
I did.
Okay. There were other instances of knowledge in the video where, excuse me, where you go and show these cards to Miss Chinchar. Doesn't have her name on it, correct?
Correct.
There are other people's names. Do you remember what names they were?
Last name Herrera on one. I'm not going to guess. I think I do, but I'm not going to just throw random names out there just in case.
And when you show these cards, she like knows where they came from, right?
She seems familiar with them.
Okay. That's all I have.
May this witness be released, or does he need to remain?
Needs to remain.
All right, if you wait outside, please don't discuss your testimony with him. Thank you. State's next witness.
I would call Deputy Sheriff Michael Miller.
Please remain standing, raise your right hand, face the clerk.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. Thanks, sir. Just have a seat and speak clearly to the microphone.
Deputy, please state your full name and rank for the record.
Micah Miller, and I'm a deputy for the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been employed with Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office?
Right around 3.5 years.
What training do you have? Specialized training.
I went through a 480-hour patrol K-9 course, and then a 240-hour narcotics detection course with my dog.
What's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Zeno, Z-E-N-O.
And what is he imprinted on or trained on?
He's imprinted to detect heroin, methamphetamine, and then crack cocaine and powder cocaine.
What is a, excuse me, an open air sniff?
And do you mean a free air sniff?
Yes.
a freer sniff of a vehicle, you'd be using your dog, I would be using my dog to detect any of the imprinted odors that I just listed that are emitting from the vehicle, but detecting them outside the vehicle.
So how does that work?
When there's odor inside a vehicle, they've got the AC coming, blowing in, so air is leaking out of the vehicle. And we use the dog to walk around the vehicle and sniff the air that is leaking from the vehicle.
What does it look like when your dog essentially smells one of those imprinted odors?
He'll be walking or trotting along. If he smells it, he will snap his head to the direction that he does smell it and then work back and forth. We teach him to work the odor to source. So when he's confident that he can pinpoint the odors coming from here, he'll obviously increase his nasal respiration because he's smelling. He will posture his body, and then if he's confident that he works at the source, he will sit or down depending on the height of where he's detecting. If it's low down, he'll down. If it's head height or above, he'll sit. And if he smells it but he's not confident where exactly, like if he's not confident he can put his nose on it, he will posture every muscle in his body and stand there just flexed up.
Were you on duty February 16th, 2024?
Sir?
Were you on duty February 16th, 2024?
Yes, sir.
Do you have an assigned area?
Yes, sir. I'm assigned to the East District 3 of Okaloosa County, which encompasses Niceville, Okaloosa Island, and Destin.
Okay. Did you come in contact with Brittany Chinchar on that day?
Yes, sir.
Do you see her in the courtroom?
Yes, sir. I believe she's behind you.
Were you wearing body cam that day?
Yes, sir.
Was it working?
Yes, sir.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
That's my body camera footage that I initialed and dated after reviewing it.
Okay. And is this an accurate depiction of the events that happened that night?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Permission to enter states 7.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
State 7 is admitted.
And permission to publish.
Yes.
Good boy. Good boy. Good, good. Put up.
What did you just see?
When it cut on, my dog was sitting with his nose pressed on the bottom seam of the vehicle, indicating to me that he did detect one of the imprinted narcotic odors.
And that was on the passenger side?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hop up and get ready to start quick. Nobody's remember. We'll close when it's ready. Yeah, we'll just wait just a second. Nobody will jump in. I got if you got anything like any bag or anything. No, it's not real. Then we come back here, just right in front of that, there we go. I'll try to hang just a second. Yeah, just keep walking in there. I'm just gonna wait till he goes here, so I can say the same thing, walk so I get the same. Story and all that. Once it back here, do it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to comment on.
So where we're at right now, all my dog indicated me that there's another emergency from the vehicle. So I don't know if y'all ever, I think I've seen you once in when the whole front thing, like on the other side. But I don't know, but that's just where we're at now. So the odor, the way it works is kind of like you take a box of pizza, put it in the car, take it out, the car smell like pizza. Right? So nobody's in trouble. Y'all are just detained right now, which all that means is you can't just leave until we.
He was just giving me a ride, so why?
It's just like you're in the vehicle, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just giving me a ride.
So the Supreme Court case law says if you're back when you're walking stop, you do not have the expectation of release, you cannot go. Once the dog already there is a proximate of the vehicle, it's not an approximate station, you can present type of vehicle, you're not.
Nobody's in trouble or whatever.
I live in, I'm asking, I've been living on something like.
Where is it on?
I mean, he can grab it for you if he can. Here, how about this? I got gloves. That's fine. I got gloves. I'm gonna do it.
Okay, what's your question? I don't know.
Is it in a bag in the back seat? Okay. I do not see a yellow bag. Okay, that one. Okay, common place on the hood over here. It's just, I would prefer to manipulate the bag. Please direct me where to, without reaching yourself. You want me to.
Excuse me. In your experience, do people involved with traffic stops try to leave the traffic stop?
Typically, they try to leave whenever an additional crime other than the traffic violation is being committed.
I tender the witness.
Cross-exam?
Thank you for being here. Detective Miller, when you inquired as to where her belongings were, she directed you to the bed of the truck. She called it the backseat, but she was directing you to the bed of the truck, right? This yellow bag?
I apologize. I'm not a detective or anything. I've not been promoted.
Oh, deputy, sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Could you restate that, please?
Yes, Deputy. When she was asking for your assistance in getting her personal belongings, she was directing you to the, she was actually being kind of proactive about it, and you had to tell her to calm down, I'm going to get it. But she was directing you to the bed of the truck. She said back seat, but.
Objection. Can we approach?
Yes.
Okay. Deputy Miller, where did you attempt to locate this bag of hers?
Before I approached the truck, where?
Yes, sir. If you can just walk us through, we saw it on body cam, but if you can walk us through how you eventually got that bag.
Okay, yes, sir. She said that the bag that she was requesting was in the back seat. I approached the truck on the passenger side, opened the rear door to look in the back seat, and then a very short time later, like a few seconds, she specified that it was a yellow bag and it should be in the bed of the truck. At which point I left the back seat and looked in the bed of the truck. I said I couldn't find a yellow bag. I didn't know it was a plastic bag. I figured it'd be like a legit bag. And then I found a yellow plastic bag that I brought back to the hood and looked through.
Okay. And when you searched through there were no tampons inside that particular bag, right?
The bag I searched, no, sir.
Yes, sir. And then, were you, and it's not clear from an earlier body cam we saw, but were you the deputy that actually got some napkins for her?
I don't recall.
Okay. After you deployed your K-9 and, Corporal Zellers was searching the vehicle, what were the scope of your duties at that scene?
Is it okay if I just refer from when I put my dog in my car?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I put my dog in the car. I walked back. We detained both people by asking them out of the car and telling them they couldn't leave. And then the scope of my duties, I was standing with them, make sure they didn't run off or anything. I did go up to the car like we just talked about to look for her bag, but I didn't search the vehicle or anything. After that, I just stood with them.
To the best of your recollection, do you remember her going off to the side of the road to sort of address a personal hygiene matter with napkins?
I don't recall because if she did, I didn't go with her.
Okay, got it. I have no further questions.
Redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
May this witness be released or does it need to remain?
He can be released.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
You are free to go. Who's your next witness?
I would call Deputy Cole Reinhardt. You may approach Madam Clerk with State 7.
Yes.
Please remain standing, raise your right hand, face the clerk.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Please have a seat and speak clearly into the microphone.
Good morning, Deputy Reinhardt. How are you?
Good, you?
Doing good. Please state your full name and rank for the record.
Gerald Cole Reinhardt, and I'm a deputy sheriff,
Where do you work at?
Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you worked there?
Just over 3.5 years.
Okay. Do you have any training?
Yes.
What training do you have?
I attended an academy in Alabama before coming here.
Okay. Do you have prior experience in law enforcement before Okaloosa County?
Yes.
Okay, and can you describe your prior law enforcement experience?
I began in corrections in Escambia County Corrections in Florida, and then I worked for the Tuscaloosa Police Department for a few years before moving back down here.
Okay. Do you have any, I guess, specialized training?
No.
Okay. Were you on duty February 16th, 2024?
Yes.
Did you come into contact with Brittany Chinchar?
Yes.
Is she here today?
Yes.
Could you point her out? Okay. Were you wearing a body cam that day?
Yes.
Was it working?
Yes.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is it?
It is a CD with my body camera footage on it.
And how do you know it's a CD with your body cam footage on it?
I put my initials and the date, acknowledging that's my body camera footage.
And is this a fair and accurate depiction of the events that happened that evening?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to enter States 8.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 8 is admitted?
Permission to publish?
Yes.
It's not like a dream vehicle. Well, there's a Supreme Court case law that says if you're in the passenger of a vehicle that's lawfully stopped, you do not have the expectation to leave, so you cannot go anywhere right now. Plus, is dog aware of the other narcotics inside the vehicle? It's not a narcotics investigation. You being present inside the vehicle, you are not free to leave. No occupancy or?
I got a tampon. I read the tampon. I'm asking my new legal on something today.
Where's the tampon at?
They
I
are.
don't reach, but
I don't
I mean,
know.
it's right before you.
I'm trying to think where they're at.
If you've been bleeding on yourself all day and you have a tampon, you don't know where.
Oh, it's in my bag somewhere on the ground. Actually, right in the right.
How about this?
Okay,
that's fine. I say it. I got those.
Okay, well, that's just my question. I just want to look at the next.
Sure, 100%. Just come over here.
Okay, I'm off. Let's go.
This is where I should. 253.
I just want to.
Just hang tight in there.
That's all I want to know. Is like, no, it should just be right.
I have no more questions.
Cross?
If I may approach, Judge.
Yes.
Thank you, Deputy Reinhardt. I just have a real quick question for you. Were you the deputy that received the napkins from Corporal Zellers?
I went back to the patrol car so she could use the napkins, yes.
Okay, so you're aware that she addressed her personal matters kind of off to the side of the road?
Yes.
Or she was at the scene, rather? Okay. Because there have been some confusion about that. Did you have any further interaction with Ms. Chinchard?
I stood by with them while, at the time, Deputy Zeller searched the vehicle, and she reported a watch of hers stolen to me.
Okay.
During that interaction.
Got it. I have no further questions.
Redirect?
Briefly. Do you know where Ms. Chinchar and Mr. Cantwell were at before the stop?
I believe they were at a gas station.
Okay, thank you.
May this witness be released, or does he need to remain?
He needs to remain.
All right, if you'll wait outside, please don't discuss your testimony with anyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. State's next witness?
State's next witness is Jessica Bossler. May I approach Madam Clerk with State's aid?
Yes.
Please remain standing, raise your right hand, face the clerk.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do.
Please have a seat, speak clearly into the mic.
Good morning, Ms. Bossler. How are you?
I'm doing well, how are you?
Doing great. Can you please state your full name for the record?
Jessica Bossler, last name is spelled Bossler.
And where are you employed at?
I work for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
And what are your duties?
My job is to analyze items of evidence to determine whether or not a controlled substance is present.
Ms. Foster, can I get you to speak into the microphone or maybe move it over just a little bit? I'm having a little difficulty hearing you. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry for the interruption.
How do you perform that duty?
Typically, we perform a color test followed by 2 instrumental analyses in order to see what is in a sample.
Do you have to have any specific training to perform these analysis?
Yes.
What is the specific training?
The training is a year-long training program, which consists of a series of written, practical, and oral assessments to cover all the types of analyses we can perform, as well as the different drug classes. After that, we also have a period of supervised casework before we are allowed to work on our own cases.
Did you have to go to school?
Yes.
And how long was your schooling?
I've received a bachelor's degree, so 4 years.
Did you perform any analysis, chemical analysis regarding the defendant for each charge?
Yes.
How many did you perform?
For this case, I performed a chemical color test followed by 2 instrumental analyses.
I'll rephrase the question. How many substances did you receive to test?
I received 2 items on separate occasions.
What was the first item that you received?
The first item I received was green powder.
And what test did you conduct on the green powder?
I performed a chemical color test followed by gas chromatography and mass spectrometry analysis.
All right, we're gonna have to flesh that out a little bit. Can you explain the first analysis, the color test?
The color test is a presumptive test that gives me a better idea of what I am potentially working with. The molecular components of a sample will work with the chemicals involved in the color test, and it'll either yield a result or it won't.
And then what's the next test? What is that for?
Gas chromatography is a type of analysis that is used to separate out different components of a mixture and time how long they take to travel through the instrument. In order for me to make an analysis, I have to compare the time of my sample to the time of a known standard that I am comparing it to, and it has to fall within a certain window in order for me to confidently say what it is.
And when you perform these analysis and these tests, do you produce some sort of report?
Yes.
Permission to approach the witness?
Yes.
Ms. Bossler, do you recognize this report?
I do.
And how do you recognize it?
I recognize the FDLE case number as well as my initials on the report.
And did you draft this?
Yes.
This is a copy of the original, of course. Is this a substantially the same as when you drafted it?
Yes.
Any changes other than the sticker that's above?
No.
Do I have permission to enter states nine?
States 9 is negative.
And your permission above?
We'll get your
Yes.
Cyclone Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you to stop by. We're located in Court Plaza. Stop by and let us help you be healthy.
I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is
Nine submitted.
Yes.
And permission to publish.
Gonna figure out how to get back to the dock control. There you go.
Thank you, Judge.
You mean autofocus?
I think it looks good. Could you walk us through this report that you drafted?
Yes, so the top right corner has all of the FDLE information as well as the agency information. And what I mean by information, I mean the numbers and the number of submissions that were for this case. The left-hand side has the submitting agency. So in this case, it was Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office. The officer that needed to know that this report had been published, as well as the subject and the offenses. Below the line, then it has who brought the item of evidence into the lab, as well as the date it was brought into the lab. And then it goes into the specific FDLE item number and agency number, what I described the substance to be. So for this report, it was described as green powder, and then it has the accompanied results. So for this report, it was identified as fentanyl. Then below, the remarks have the analyses as I performed, as well as my contact information should people have questions.
How many times have you testified in trial?
I've testified about 40 times in court.
And you've rendered your expert opinion those times?
Yes.
So, in your expert opinion, what was the green powder that was submitted to you?
I identified fentanyl.
And when you run your tests to identify these chemical substances, do you do the same thing every time?
Typically, I will do the chemical color test and the 2 instrumental analyses, yes.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to approach the witness?
Yes.
Ms. Bossler? Do you recognize this?
I do.
And what is it?
It is a copy of the report I generated for the second submission in this case.
How do you know that?
It has the FTLE case number as well as the number of submissions and my signature.
And is this in substantially the same, I guess, condition
Yes.
as it was when you drafted it?
Yes.
Permission to admit states 10.
No objection.
States 10 is admitted, thank you.
And permission to publish.
Yes.
Same thing, Ms. Bosler. Can you walk us through what this report says?
Yes, so the top portion has many of the same information as the previous report did. The only difference is the number of submissions has changed from 1 to 2. Yep. And then the bottom, it has a different FDLE item number, an agency exhibit number, my description, which was crystalline substance, and then it has the results. The main difference with this report and the previous report is that this one has a weight reported on it. And because there is a weight reported, now there has to be an additional remark stating my level of confidence of that weight, because there was a threshold met. So when I say threshold, I mean in the statutes, there are threshold weights at which penalties and charges can change. So because this met one of those weights, there is more information.
Something that you do as an FDLE analyst is you read the laws?
We have to understand the statutes, yes.
Okay. And the purpose of that is to say whether something is a controlled substance in Florida statute?
Yes.
Okay. So is fentanyl a controlled substance in Florida statutes?
It is.
How about methamphetamine?
It is.
Okay. How does this weight come about? How do you weigh it? Can you weigh it more than one time? Do you have a special scale?
Our balances, I wouldn't say they're special. We just do a lot of work on them, and we have different ways of figuring out a range of uncertainty. But to weigh a substance, I will put a piece of paper on the balance and I'll tear the balance so that the display reads 0.00 grams. I then take out the item from whatever container it is in and obtain its net weight. So net weight is just the item alone, and then I record that.
Okay. And you said there's a level of confidence. Can you explain why you don't just say you're 100% confident?
You can't be 100% confident about anything. So this level of confidence brings into, the level of confidence is talking about the range. So on the report, you'll see that there's 14.555 plus or minus 0.030 grams. So that plus or minus is the range that I'm talking about, and that takes into account the variation during the measurement process. That level of confidence is talking about that range. So because I can't say for 100%, yes, this is exactly 14.555 grams, there is that variability, and that level of confidence is what that is talking about.
This is going to seem elementary to you, but I didn't go to school for math. So what is your opinion as far as the weight?
My opinion as far as the weight is that the true value of this substance is 14.555 plus or minus 0.030 grams.
So if you were to subtract, let's say, your, I guess, the deviation, what would that equal?
That would be 14.525 grams.
So still over that threshold that you were mentioning?
Yes.
14 grams being the threshold?
Yes.
Because that's a trafficking amount of methamphetamine?
It is.
Are your reports peer reviewed?
Yes.
How?
In order for a case to go out, the report is reviewed along with all of the data to see if there's any technical errors, technical being my opinion in itself, looking at the data, and any administrative errors, so kind of grammar, spelling check.
Do you test for purity?
No.
I have no further questions.
Cross-exam?
Ms. Bossler, your expertise, the scope of your duties with respect to your involvement in this case pertain to whether or not a substance is a controlled substance and whether or not it meets a certain weight threshold. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So you have no testimony to offer about proximity to a substance or whether or not who had ownership or knowledge or anything of that nature. It's just whether or not that particular substance was a narcotic and whether or not it met a certain threshold.
That is correct.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Redirect?
Briefly. On the crystalline substance that was submitted to your laboratory, do you have an opinion on what that crystalline substance was?
Yes.
What is it?
I identified methamphetamine.
So, over 14 grams of methamphetamine.
Yes.
No further questions. May I approach Madam Clerk?
Yes. May the witness be released, or does she need to remain?
She may be released.
Any objection?
No objection.
You are free to go. Thank you. State's next witness.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the state has now rested its case. There are some legal matters that I need to take up right now. What I'm going to do is ask you to step into the jury room for a few minutes so I can figure out lunch and timing and everything, and we can take care of this legal business. I'll remind you to please leave your notepads and pens here in the courtroom. Please don't discuss the case, and I'll be back with you as quickly as I can, okay? Thank you.
Please stand for the jury.
Thank you. Please be seated. Any motions?
Your Honor, in that the state has rested, I would like to orally submit a motion for judgment of acquittal. It's my belief that the state has not met their burden of proof in proving these particular cases beyond a reasonable doubt. Specifically, the state must establish that Ms. Chinchar, client, knew of the existence of the substance and intentionally exercised control over that substance. Mere proximity to that substance is not in and of itself alone sufficient. The testimony of Corporal Zellers indicated that the basis for his arrest was that she was in mere proximity to the substance and that there were some issues with tampons. And that the tampons were found in the location where ultimately these substances were located. And that's, I don't believe that that's sufficient, even for constructive possession purposes. I would ask for a judgment of acquittal.
Mr. Sprouse?
I would submit that there is evidence of knowledge and possession of both substances that the state's charged the defendant with. We are not arguing mere proximity. There is proximity. The bag was literally at the defendant's feet. There are, of course, tampons in that bag, but we don't just have the tampons in the bag. We have these statements of the defendant trying to get to the tampons, presumably in that bag, and then once she realizes that she's not going to get back into the vehicle, into that bag, she suddenly doesn't have any tampons. Also, there's evidence of knowledge based on the cards that were located in that bag that don't actually belong to Ms. Chinchar. We don't know who they belong to. The deputy can't say for certain who it is, but she knew where they came from. So we would respectfully request Your Honor deny the defendant's motion for judgment of acquittal.
Rebuttal?
None of this time.
All right, this time I'm going to deny the JOA. I do want to give you some time to talk to your client about whether or not she is going to testify. I want to give you privacy to do that. I think I heard at the beginning that you have one witness, at least one witness. Not to ask you to, reveal your whole case here. Am I going to have a situation where somebody comes in and says, it's mine? Do I need to get a lawyer here? Okay, I just want to make sure. That has happened before, and we get the person on the stand, and it's like, whoa, time out, wait. I just want to make sure. So,
And,
okay.
Full disclosure, I will have possibly a rebuttal case.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving right along. It's 11:48. Do you want me to go ahead and let the jurors go to lunch and have them come back at 1? And give you time to talk to your client over lunch? The one thing I would like to do is try and do a brief charge conference, although, I mean, we're moving right along.
Yes, ma'am, I don't anticipate my witness or even his potential rebuttal taking too long,
Okay.
so.
Okay, so I guess what we'll do is, how long do you think your first witness is going? Do you want to talk to your client before you put any witnesses on? Because it's only 10 till. If your witness is going to be, you know, a 15-minute witness, we might as well.
I think we can break for lunch, and if, I'll have her come back early, and I'll talk to her about whether or not she wants to exercise her right to testify on her own behalf, and then, I think.
We'll do the colloquy then.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then why don't we do this? Why don't we bring in the jury, I'll let them go to lunch, tell them to be back here at 1, and then we will all be back here at 12:45, and I'll do the colloquy. How's that? That gives you guys about 55 minutes for lunch. Is that enough time?
Yes, ma'am.
Not sure how good I did on math there, but I think I got it pretty close. Does that work for the state as well?
State's fine with that.
Okay, so let's bring in the jury. We'll let them go to lunch. So I just tell them, head on out? Or do you escort them
We
down?
will escort them down to the front, and then from there they go out, and then we wait for them downstairs in the front by the single point, the doors,
Okay.
and then just escort them out.
And so we should probably have them back